Hi everyone, I am here to give you my review of Mrs. Mike by Benedict and Nancy Friedman. This is our book club selection for January, and I'm really excited about starting book club again this year, having a whole new selection of books and having a whole new crew of people to do it with. I'm just really excited about this year. I think it's going to be great, really fun. So thank you for joining us and welcome to Book Club 2016. To start with, I'll give you my review of Mrs. Mike and tell you my two favorite things about the book, which is really hard for me to do because I like so many things about this book. It's wonderful. But I think the thing that really sticks out to me the most about this book is that it is a story about marriage, and that's kind of unusual, actually. Most of the time, if it is a story about a relationship, about romance at all, then it ends with the wedding. Think about Pride and Prejudice, or even, romantic comedies like You've Got Mail. It ends with them getting together. But Mrs. Mike begins with them getting together, which is a really beautiful little story in itself. But the rest of the book is spent just kind of showing you what marriage is like. And I think they do a really good job of communicating the joys of marriage, what is really fulfilling and satisfying and wonderful and fun about marriage, and also communicating really accurately what's difficult about marriage, from the big things that can destroy a marriage to kind of the day-to-day things that make marriage difficult. But I love the relationship of the main character and her husband, Kathy and Mike. And one of my favorite parts of the whole book has to do with marriage, and it's when Kathy's first beginning to struggle with what life is going to be like in the north of Canada with her husband, the Canadian Mountie. And she spends this night when she really just has to decide if she wants to do it. If she wants to stay married with him, if she wants to engage this difficult life in northern Canada. And there's this line, and it says something to the effect of, I decided that if I loved Mike, then I would have to love the things that he loved. And if I couldn't love them, I would at least have to understand them. And if I couldn't understand them, then I would spend my whole life trying to. And I think that is just so beautiful. It's great marriage advice, or really just advice for anyone that you love to make a relationship with them work. So I thought that I loved that part. I really appreciated, it was written really well, and the scene and everything really kind of brings it home. But I loved that part, and I loved the things that it says about marriage. It feels very accurate to what marriage feels like. So that's one of my favorite things. The second thing was I just loved all the different characters. You meet all of these really interesting people, from her uncle, who's quiet but loves to tell these long, elaborate stories, to, oh my gosh, Sarah, the medicine woman, who is so full of compassion but can just do these really difficult things because she's so strong and brave. And then, Kathy's friend, the French woman, whose life is full of suffering. She's the mother of sorrows, but still has this grace and ability to think about other people in the most difficult of circumstances when she's suffering. And then, of course, Kathy, who's spunky and funny and proud and works so hard to make it in the north. And then Mike, who's just, so great. He's selfless and strong and funny and practical, and all of those things. So these characters are just rich and good, and I like I said, the portrayal of marriage, but I also love the portrayal of female friendship, Kathy's friendship with different women, and then also and of course Obie Joyful. How could I forget her friend who comes to live with them, this girl, Obie Joyful, and she kind of grows up into womanhood in the book. And she's just wonderful. And, Obie Joyful and Kathy call each other more than sisters. They say, "You're my more than sister." And it's just such a beautiful thing. I know what that feels like, to have a friendship that's so deep that it kind of bleeds and crosses across even ideas of family and bonds of friendship. It becomes so deep. And so I just love that portrayal of all of the different characters who are interesting and intriguing and make you love reading the book, and then what it means to have relationships with different kind of people. So I liked the book. I hope you did too. I got so many texts and messages from people, and it seems like everybody just, devoured this book. You can't really read it in any more than 48 hours. It's something that you just can't stop turning the pages. It's so fun. So again, I hope you loved it. I will write some discussion questions in the blog post, and hopefully it can just get you thinking. I would love to hear from you. I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a comment and tell me what you liked about the book and what your experience of reading was like. If you read the book, I'd love to hear from you. And welcome to Book Club 2016.